I didn't vote because Kamala was no better than Trump and she supports genocide, or I voted third party because I wasn't going to vote for either of them. So I sat back and I handed that vote to what we are seeing unravel now. Listen, if your strategy for dismantling a broken system is to surrender your political power because both sides are bad, I need you to understand something, please. Disengagement is not dismantling, and dismantling a system is not the same as pretending you can escape it overnight. America was not born innocent by any means. This country was built through indigenous dispossession and mass killing, the enslavement and commodification of African people, stolen land, stolen labor, racial terror, the oppression and exploitation of women, and generations of laws and institutions that decided whose humanity mattered and whose did not. We are seeing that today. So when I say that the system needs to be dismantled, I am not talking about blindly trusting a political party. Not one bit. I am talking about strategy. You do not dismantle centuries of organized oppression by becoming politically absent. You do not defeat organized power with disorganization. And you do not throw away every imperfect tool available to you because none of those tools alone can liberate us. Voting alone will not save us. I'm not saying it will. Neither will protesting alone. Neither will boycotting. Neither will mutual aid, education, organization, community building, economic resistance, or telling the truth. You use every tool that you have. You vote when voting can protect people. You protest when silence becomes complicity. You organize when institutions refuse to protect you. You feed your neighbors when systems abandon them. You educate children so another generation cannot be manipulated by the same lies. And you build something new while fighting like hell to protect people inside what currently exists. Because here's the part we have to understand. Two things can be broken without being equally consequential. Saying that neither political party represents liberation does not mean that every administration, policy, judge, law, budget, or election produces the same consequences for human beings. Recognizing those differences isn't worshiping a party. It's understanding power, because sometimes disengagement doesn't punish the system. It abandons the people most vulnerable to what the system does next. And we are actively seeing that. We have to be able to hold two truths at the same time. This system is broken. And what happens inside that broken system can still determine whether somebody eats, receives health care, keeps bodily autonomy, remains with their family, maintains their civil rights, or survives. That is why dismantling oppression requires more than ideological purity. It requires strategy. If the house is burning, I can know that the entire damn house needs to be rebuilt while still putting out the fire in the room where my children are sleeping. Those things are not contradictions. That is survival. A mother puts on her oxygen mask first because she cannot save her baby unconsciously. You stabilize what you can today because surviving today gives you another day to fight for transformation tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? And ultimately, I don't want a different person comfortably sitting at the top of the same violent hierarchy. I want us to question why the hierarchy exists at all. I want something beyond white supremacy, beyond patriarchy, beyond colonialism, beyond exploitation, beyond an economy capable of producing unimaginable wealth while human beings struggle for food, housing, medicine, clean water, and dignity. But we are not going to get there through political apathy. We are going to need memory, education, coalition, voting, organizing, protest, mutual aid, economic power, political pressure, community, imagination, and discipline. Because the people who built oppressive systems did not build them by doing nothing. They organized power, right? They wrote laws, they built institutions, they accumulated wealth, they controlled narratives, they captured political power, and they constructed systems capable of outliving the people who created them. You understand what I'm saying? So if we intend to dismantle those systems, we must become just as organized around humanity as they became organized around power over humanity. Not cruel like them, not oppressive like them, not dehumanizing like them, but strategic, relentless, mindful, intellectual, empathetic, collective, and fiercely human. Because revolution is not simply destroying what was. Revolution is protecting people while we build what should be. And dismantling a system is not pretending you can escape it overnight. It is understanding it so deeply, organizing so strategically, and loving humanity so fiercely that eventually the system can no longer survive us.